Contrary to what many senior citizens think, I don't think the most dangerous thing that you have to worry about at home is a break-in. I think the most dangerous thing you have to worry about is a broken hip within your home. We all have heard the stories. Fred was doing so well. Fred was enjoying life. Fred was really doing great, and then he fell and broke his hip, and Fred was never the same. Let me tell you today how you can avoid some of these falls and injuries that happen so often at home. Hi, I'm John. I'm a nurse practitioner. I've worked as a nurse practitioner, emergency nurse, and a flight nurse for 20 years total, working in the emergency department at the moment. And I will tell you this, the most common thing that brings somebody, an elder, a senior citizen, into our hospital by ambulance late at night is not a heart attack. It's probably something like a little bitty cute dog that tripped our patient in the middle of the night. Let me tell you today how to do an audit of your home, an audit to check for safety. And I will give you an information sheet toward the end of this video where you can get a sheet that you can use, a checklist to give yourself your own audit. In the meantime, like or subscribe to this video, share it and tell your friends about it. I have several videos on how to prepare for a trip to the emergency department, what to do to get that information ready, and how to avoid some of these trips. If you haven't seen already, be sure to watch my video on your personal health information and the emergency contact information, that magic paper you really should carry in your wallet or purse. With that said, let's get into the audit. And the first thing I want you to think about, and one of the first things that I see, honestly, that injures elders in the middle of the night is the cute little dog or the cute little cat. I have seen so many people injured by pets, and it's not bites, it's tripping over that cute little thing and falling. Again, that broken hip, that broken rib can cause a problem that you might just not get over. So what do you do about it? A couple of things. Some are just happy if you'll get your pet a little bed, something comfortable in a corner near the room where you are so that they can be close to you, but out of the way when you get up to go to the bathroom or get up to get a drink in the middle of the night. The other thing you can do if the pet is just so affectionate that they won't stay away from you, seems cruel, but crate training. Get a little crate, put them in it so that this cute little pet is out of the way during the night when you might be up and moving around in the dark. That's number one, your pets. Number two, loose or uneven floors. So many times I have seen people, and they'll swear to me they don't know what happened because they tripped over that half-inch difference from where they walk from their hallway into the bathroom or into the hallway into the kitchen. They're like, it's just a little difference. I've walked it a million times. I don't know what happened, but my foot caught on it and I tripped. What can you do? You may have to spend a little bit of money, but you can put down a little threshold. It's a little ramped transition that goes between one level of floor and the next. It helps make it smooth so you don't catch your foot, catch your toe in the middle of that. So transitions and thresholds. And while we're talking about floors, look for rugs that are also uneven, wrinkled, could catch your foot in the middle of the night. It's just so easy for things to catch. And if you're like me, if I'm reading, I need glasses. I don't see as well as I used to. And when I'm walking, I really just don't focus on the floor. The floor is a little bit blurrier than it used to be. So have those rugs taped down, double-sided tape, or if you have to, remove the rugs, eliminate them if you have to, but make sure your rugs are smooth, that your floor is smooth. Now, moving on to number three, and I see this so many times, and we try not to smile, but in a way it's funny. We give you oxygen to keep you healthy, and I don't know how many people I've seen trip over their oxygen tubing. That tubing is usually clear or green, but it's not that easy to see, and some people have 20 or 50 feet of tubing from their equipment to where it finally goes into their nose, and it's easy to trip on that. So your oxygen tubing, have it rolled up neatly. Get a rubber band or something to keep it in a row. Have it tucked behind your furniture where you're not going to fall. Take a few minutes to get that out of the way so that you don't trip over it. And along with tubing, the other thing that frequently I see people get caught with is the extension cord. Extension cords are so handy, although the fire departments talk about the fire hazard of too many. But for me, in the emergency department, the hazard is your foot will catch on that extension cord. So the extension cord, do something with it. Have tape over it. They make special extension cord covers if it must be across your hallway or floor. Or better yet, find another way to plug the device in or get battery powered devices so that you don't need that extension cord. But those long extension cords are a tripping hazard at 2 in the morning when you're up to get a drink. Moving on. What else? How about loose clothing and shoes? So many times I've seen people trip over that pair of pants, that nightgown, that house coat, something that they casually dropped in the floor and didn't realize that part of it was sticking out. Blankets that might be sticking out of a cupboard, towels that could have fallen in the floor. So many things. All you have to do, it's complicated in a way because you have to remember to do it, but go through and pick up. Get a laundry hamper. Get the places where things go, put them where they go. Towels, have a towel rack, a hook, something where you put the towel so that your things that could catch your feet are neatly stored for the night. Along with that, a hazard that I see so many times is the grandchildren. Now, your grandchild won't be laying in the floor, but I promise you their Legos will. And if you've ever had the pleasure of stepping on a Lego with a bare foot in the middle of the night, you will know a pleasure like no other. I think that we could call it cruel and inhuman punishment if we put Legos on the floors of prisons. It's awful. And there's Legos, there's things with wheels, there are other toys of one kind or another. I know we love our grandchildren, but get a toy box and have them pick the toys up before they leave. If they won't, have mom and dad pick the toys up before they leave. If mom and dad won't cooperate, refuse to cook for them or babysit. Trust me, they'll come around. But those toys need to be picked up. Moving on, another item that's very simple is the dark hallway. We don't see as well as we get older. A dark hallway becomes much more dangerous. It's simple. Buy a cheap nightlight. Most of them these days use very little electricity because they're LED. Most of them you can buy cheap ones that you can plug into wall outlets. They're light sensitive. You don't even have to turn them on or off. When you turn your lights off, they come on. If you don't know where to find them, I'll put a link where you can order some online in the comments below. But a cheap nightlight could potentially save your life. $3, it's a no-brainer in my opinion. Put some nightlights around so you can see when you get up in the middle of the evening. The stairways are particularly dangerous, and so make sure they're uncluttered. So many people put things on the stairs so that when they go up or down, they can grab them and not make many trips. However, that becomes a hazard if you forget and leave them there. So just like the floors, just like the hallways, pay particular attention to the stairs. Make sure they're not cluttered. Small furniture, little furniture, low-lying furniture. It's also something that will absolutely whack you in the shins when you get up in the middle of the night, and falls frequently follow. So have the furniture moved far enough back that it's out of the way. If you're a person that gets up and sets a little bit in the middle of the night, maybe you can't sleep, you watch TV, something like that, have all that little furniture out of your way so that there's no way you can run into it in the middle of the night. Now, with that said, I got two more things, and then we'll wind this up. One thing is a slick floor. That beautiful waxed or polished tile floor is gorgeous, and it is impressive, and it does show people what a great housekeeper you are, but it can be so slick that it's like walking on ice. What can you do about that? One, change the finish you put on the floor. Okay, it's as simple as changing it so the floor itself is not so slick. The other thing, and I really recommend this because so many of us have decreased sensation in our feet, we don't pick our feet up as high, some kind of house slipper or sock with the grips on the bottom so that when you walk, you are walking on something that actually has a little bit of traction. I can think of nothing more dangerous than walking around your house in the middle of the night with nothing but socks, especially slick, fuzzy socks that turn the kitchen floor into an ice rink. So those slick floors, either change the polish or change what you put on your feet. And then last but not least is the footwear you wear yourself. I mentioned it, but have something with grips, have something with a sole that is not slick. Honestly, spend the money, buy some new ones. I had to throw some away because they were so old that they were slick. They were no longer useful to keep me from falling in the middle of the night. And the last is not just the ones you slip your feet in, because if you can only slip your feet in them, your feet can slip out. Get some with some heels on the back so that they stay on your foot. With that said, these are some things you can go through, do an audit of your house, look at things, imagine what that would be like in the middle of the night if you ran into it. You might find more things. If you have trouble remembering all this, I have made a downloadable PDF audit sheet that you can take through and use as a checklist to check your own house. Look in the comments below. I'll give you a link to some Nightlights. I am an affiliate with them, but take the time, look through your house, and above all else, don't be someone who just listens to videos, but go through and do the work to make your house safe so that we don't see you in the middle of the night with a broken hip, rib, or shoulder. That could be a life-changing event and not in a good way. Until next time, check my other videos out, especially the ones on emergency contact information and how to set up your iPhone. They're both there. You can find them on my channel.